Okay, I'm ready to put, I put the cover on. I stuck my fuse panel back inside here a little bit, gives me a little more access inside here. Put my bead of silicone on my cover. Have my bolts ready. Before you even do any of that, you should make a couple dry runs in here to figure out the best way to get your cover in there. Get used to it. I stuck my cover in. I stuck this corner in. Just like, I didn't stick this corner in, but I stuck in the bottom corner down there. I stuck it inside here first, shoved it in here. On this side of the alternator pulley, got it in there. Came in like that, and then squeezed it past the plastic here, and I got down in there. Boom, and then pushed it up against there. Wiggle it around a little bit. I felt it go into the guide pins down below. Came in flush, felt good. I had my bolts sitting here by me. I started a couple bolts. Got them started, and then I did the rest of the bolts. And don't forget, this bolt here was the long oddball bolt, which is the longer one. And also this one here is the big 18 head bolt. Just below it was the longer one. I put on all my bolts, snugged them all up, and went around. I retightened them all. Don't forget about your 210s down below, right above your crank. Now I'm gonna go down below and I'm gonna put my pump back on and my harmonic balancer. And then I'll do stuff up on top and get going. Put your power steering pump in. Grab hold of your pump on for your left hand. Put your bolt in your right hand. Put it in the bracket. Hold the pump up in there. Push it around, wiggle it around. Get that bolt started. Once it's started, you know it started by hand. Then you can put your socket on it and thread it all the way in, shaking it. The pump with your hand. Get it snugged up, and then back it off a little bit, and then go in and do the other one through the underneath. Goes to the back of the head from the long extension. Get that one started with your hand, and then snug it up, and then go around and tighten your both two bolts up. Don't forget that pump has that reservoir return pipe on it with the little bracket. Make sure it's not held up with a bunch of wires up on top of the wire harness. So that might help hold you back if it's stuck on a wire harness. And then we'll put the harmonic balancer on. You get your harmonic balancer, clean off the inside and the outside of it, and then put a little bit of sealer on the inside of the balancer. Where's mine at? Just put a little fine little bit in there, just a little bit to keep the oil from coming out from around the outside of it, causing a small leak. Or you can put a small bead right here too. Just a little bit, ain't gonna hurt nothing. Sometimes they leak past. I'll use a 2x4. It's about, I don't know, 10 inches. Nice one. I use that, put it on there, because I can't get a great shot with the installer pipe, so I use a 2x4, so I can angle it up there a little bit. Pound it on there with your mini sledge. You'll hear the difference when it bottoms out. And then you can put your bolt in and tighten it. I'm gonna have to find out what the bolt torque is. Okay, I left you with the crank bolt, 75 foot-pounds or impact torque. All right, put your water pump on, if you got a metal gasket or a paper gasket, I always use a fine film of silicone around it. Make sure you put the pump on properly, you know, that circle thing on the bottom of it goes to on the bottom. And then you want to put your, when you snug up your bolts, you know, star pattern, and then torque them down, put your pulley on, put your tensioner in. Now that you got your tensioner, the two tensioner bolts, Got those stupid spacers on there for the plastic. There's 2 on each bolt. And when it depends upon what time you put the cover on, how long ago, the silicone sealer might be dry inside these bolt holes. So you might have to pick some of it out and get the bolts in there, get them started, tighten them up. Go and do your alternator stud. Do your idler bolt that goes to the bottom of the alternator. Tighten that one up. And then we'll work on our solenoids and our sensors. Okay, I'm going to put my solenoids in. I got allergies. Clean off your solenoid. Some memory cloth. Not any sand on there. That's what it looked like. That's what one looks like now. You go together. You want to clean them up. Spray out your screens. Some brake clean. Put some lube on them. Put some lube on your seals. Put them in. Clean up your sensors. Just, you know, use a rag. Clean them up. Put some grease on your O-rings. And then put some grease in the holes and oil. And then you put those in. Snug the bolts up. Tighten them up. They're only little bolts. Okay. Just so you know, the sensor bolts are a little bit longer than the solenoid bolts. Okay. All right. I put my outlet on and get the new seals on it. What I did is I cleaned them up real good and I put some silicone sealer on them, around them, and then I put them on. Held them by those 2 little 10mm long bolts, and they have them plastic guides on them also. I raised it up, took out my block. Now I can lower it down, sit in regular height, so I can put my valve covers on now. And you want to replace your seals for your spark plugs. Pound them out with a screwdriver. Boom. They don't come out. They come out. And remember, when you go back together, lip up. So when you go down on the spark plug tubes, they slide right on. You don't want to put them on upside down. They won't slide on because it's sealed up. A lip up. Okay. Put on your new valve cover gasket, new seals, and put your valve cover on. Make sure when you put it on, you do a X pattern, snug them all up, and then go around and do your final torque. I'm going to do front and rear. It looks so easy to put them in upside down. You don't want to put them in like that. You want to install them like this. Okay. Put some grease on them. Put them on there. Line them up. And that will just push right in. Okay. Do that to all of them. Got them in, got them lubed, got the gaskets in, put some silicone on those little white spots. That's where the front cover and the head meet. Okay. And then you want to go on to the engine area and you want to scrape up it nice and flat, because when you put them together, that front cover, you got the little high spot. Scrape that off. Go on them on, scrape that off. Make sure it don't fall down inside the motor. And get your gasket scraper and scrape them off. Do that.